So, as I've been playing Vintage Story with people online, I've noticed that a lot of people have trouble hunting when they first start out, especially hunting rams or goats or whatever you want to call them. So, I'm going to be making this short little guide to cover some of the techniques you can use to hunt rams, at least in the early game. So, some things that you might want are a knife so you can open up their carcass, a bunch of granite spears. This is, or any sort of spear, but this is definitely overkill. You can usually do this with one, two, three spears. I usually go with three just so I have inventory space for seeds or whatever else I want to collect. And if you're new at it, I would really recommend you make some uh, poultices, I believe it's called. You can make the really basic ones with some reeds and horsetails and press H to see the guide to figure out how to make that. But one of the, well, I guess there's two main hunting techniques I use for rams, and both of them are sort of kiting. It's just one's easier than the other. One thing that you should know about rams, though, is that if you get too close to the males, they'll attack like that and do stupid amounts of damage. So the easiest way to hunt a ram out in the open is to aggro it and then run out into the water, where you can easily just stay under it and it's too slow to keep up with you. Just kite it. I'm playing as the commoner class. Obviously, different classes do different damage. If you have spears, you can usually just throw them because throwing does more damage. And there you go. You kill a goat without taking much damage yourself. So if the water's shallow though, you'll notice you move. Make sure, or you move slowly. Make sure that you're moving fast, so try and sprint in this shallow water, and you can still outrun them, but they will get close to you. One other thing you can do is hold whatever your crouch is. Sometimes you'll start swimming if you do it. Didn't happen there. Let's see, there we go. So I'm holding crouch, and then, okay, yep, that's not gonna work. Sometimes you can move faster when you're holding crouch. But the next way is kind of obvious. It's basically aggro and kite it. When you're doing it on land, the goats are usually fast enough where uh, you really want to be throwing it. You just aggro once, but oh god, yeah, when you aggro one, you can aggro more than one. And sometimes you can just run right through them because their attacks are going to be too slow. And once you do enough damage, they'll sometimes start running away. I'm not going to bother with them, but I think that makes sense. We're basically just kite them. Uh, don't just sit there and attack them because that's going to get you killed, especially if you don't have armor. Wooden armor or any sort of improvised armor would really help out with this as well. Obviously, if you're in the later game and you have armor, then you can just grab a sword and mash them a bunch. So another way to hunt if you don't want to get your hands as dirty, because they'll run away if you pillar up, so it can be kind of hard, but is you can make traps, and this is more a copper age thing because you need a saw for a trough, but I'll show an example of a trap. It would be kind of similar to a drifter trap, where you want some trapdoors, and this is also kind of like how it works in Minecraft. You just want to have the trapdoors facing any sort of closed position, and then you want a trough. That's filled with food. And you can see if I place a ram down, it's going to be attracted to the trough, and when it falls in there, you can just hit it as much as you want and kill it. This also works for pigs. Pigs don't do as much damage, so there's not as much risk. With chickens, they run away, and the difference with wolves is that they'll aggro onto you anyways, which can actually make your life easier, because then you don't have to go up to them and hit them. They'll just start chasing you into the water where you can easily kite them. But there, I hope that tutorial sort of helps to show some of the hunting techniques for early game vintage story survival.